If you do not know how to take proper body measurements and you've been wondering where or how should I learn how to do this, then you're in the right place. Stick around because today's video is going to be teaching you how to take proper body female measurements. This is what I'm going to be using. This is a body form. It's what I'm going to be using to explain how you're to take the proper measurements of a female dress. In taking the body measurements, you're going to take note of these parts I'm going to mention now. First is the shoulder, the bust point, the under bust, the half length, the waist, the bust, the round under bust, the half length, the hip line, the hip, the dress length, the back half length, the sleeve, the round sleeve, the nipple to nipple distance. So those are the basic measurements that you're going to take note of. So the first thing you do is to place your measurement tape on the middle of the shoulder of the person's body. You take it through to the bust area, make sure the tape goes directly under the bust, because when the person wears the clothes, it's going to fit into under the bust also. Don't just take it straight like this. No, you take it and make sure the tape goes under the bust, and then you place your hand there and take the tape all the way to the length of where you want the dress to stop. Now after that, the next measurement you're going to be taking note of is the bust point. Place your tape again right on the middle of the shoulder, and you take the tape this way, and you are able to take note of the nipple point. That is the bust point, which for this mannequin now it is 10. Then from there you also take note of the under bust, directly under the client bust. That is where you have your under bust. Now the waist, I usually make it 3 inches after under the bust. For this one now it is 17. It all depends on the person's body. If it's someone who is slim, it is usually better for you to make it on the tiniest part of the person's waist. That is where you take your waist measurements. But if it's someone who is big, you don't put the waist on the person's tummy. You take the waist before the person's tummy for someone who is on the big side. But if it's someone who is slim, directly on the tiniest part of the waist, just like me now, this region, this area is where I would call my waist. Just always make sure to place your tape at the middle of the shoulder, and then after you've taken note of the half length is where you will be able to measure for your waist. After you have taken note of the half length, you also come down to take note of the hip line. Every woman's hip line is not the same. It differs because you have different shapes and different heights. So you take note of the hip line. That's the widest part of the buttocks. You come down to take note of the hip line. You take note of that measurement, and for this one it is 25. Now after taking note of that, on the bust point where we measured 10, we are going to go around and take the bust measurement. Don't make it too tight. If you make it too tight, when you finish making the dress, the person will not be able to, it will not fit in properly into the person's body. So what you do is, as you take the tape around the body, you put one finger inside, and then you have your bust measurement. That here is 34.5 inch for this body form. Now you also go around under the bust. Remember we measured under the bust area from the shoulder here down to the under bust, which is 14. You take your tape round under the bust again. Make sure you put one finger in so that it will not be too tight, thereby making the person uncomfortable. So what we have here is 26.5. Now on the hip line, on the hip area, which is the widest part of the body, you also take your tape around like so, and what we have here is 39.5. That point before that waistline, you notice that that part of your body is not usually straight. There is a curve that comes at that place. So it's also important for you to take a measurement of that back half length, where the waistline before the buttocks starts. I usually like to take the measurement of that because I have noticed that it is usually not the same for every woman. Then from that place also, I take the tape all the way to under the buttocks. I have here is 28.5. In my subsequent classes, you're going to know why I usually take the measurements this way here. So you just place the tape on the middle of the shoulder, and then just here where the hand is going to start. So for this body form here, it is 8 inches, and this 8 inches means it is 16, because if you take it all the way from here to here, what we have there is 16 inches. So that is how you take the shoulder measurement. Now, because this body form does not have a hand, I'm going to be using myself to show you how to take the measurement of your sleeve. So from where you've taken your shoulder measurement, for me my shoulder measurement is 7, which is 14. Now from that point, I'm going to place my tape again, put my tape on that point where the shoulder measurement stopped, and take it down to wherever you want the sleeve to stop. You could be your sleeve to be 9, or you want it to be 22, or you want it to be 16, or you want it to be 14. Whatever measurement you want it to be, it's practically fine. And now if you want to take the round sleeve measurements, you just have to place the tape around the arm of your client, and you just place the round sleeve like so. Make sure to put one of your finger inside so that it is not too tight for ease sake. So for me now it is 12 inches, and so that's how you take the measurements all around your arm. Sorry, just remember to always put one finger in so that it's not too tight. So that is just it, and all the way down. Another thing you also want to take note of is the nipple distance. Everybody's nipple distance is not the same thing, and so what you're just going to do is to place your tape at this nipple here, and then you place it on the other nipple, so you know what actually is the nipple distance. Now for this dummy, the nipple distance is 6.5. So for some people it can be 8, for some people it can be 9, for some people it's actually 10. So it depends on how busty the person you're measuring is. If you find this video very helpful, please do well to give this video a thumbs up, to also share and subscribe so that whenever I post a video you get notified. If there's something you do not understand, please do well to leave your comment or your question in the comment section, and I will do well to answer your questions. Thank you. Until I come your way again, I remain my humble self, Chidima. Bye.